Hello everybody, this is Tazitis, and welcome back! I hope you guys are liking this series. I hope it's infectious enough for you guys. So let's get back into it. So this photograph above is not mine, the picture above is not mine. This is just how I kind of picture the Creepypasta mansion to look like, though I picture it like a little bit more blacker and a little bit more bigger and everything else and all, but pretty much this is the idea what I think the Creepypasta mansion looks like. And I found this image and all and thought it would be really cool. And anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get into it. Oh, I'm not sure if it goes. Okay. It took Sally a while to think. It took Sally a while, but sorry, my voice is thrashed from reading the other chapters and all, and by not drinking water. It took Sally a while to think. It took Sally a while, but she managed to figure out who was best suited for what Crystal needed help with. Then Sally grabbed my hand and told... Sally grabbed Crystal's hand and told Crystal that she would go looking for her and that she would come right back. As Sally disappeared into thin air right in front of Crystal, Crystal gathered her things. I don't know why I put me there. Crystal gathered her things and went to pay for everything before returning home. She left the groceries on the counter and then went out back to wait and see if Sally would show up again. She didn't know if Sally would show up today or if she was not going to take the risk of the family ever seeing Sally. She didn't know if Sally would show up today or not, but she was not going to take the risk of her family ever seeing Sally if she could help it. Crystal sat on the small log bench, waiting. It seemed a long time, but then almost out of nowhere, Sally popped out out in front of Crystal, and Crystal jumped to her feet. Miss Crystal, good news! She said it was okay. Clockwork said she'd love to meet you and talk about training you, but we have to hurry and meet her right now. Sally was smiling and grabbing Crystal's hand, but Crystal stopped her. Wait, where? Crystal asked wearily. Sally looked a little ashamed. We need to go back to the mansion again. Crystal froze. Sally quickly jumped in. But we're not going inside. It's just very way outside the mansion, okay? We're not going anywhere inside, but we must meet her at least near the outside area, okay? Crystal was still scared, but realized that in order for her plan to work, she was just going to have to be brave. Easier said than done. Crystal nodded, and Sally held her hand tightly as the world around them more, and then Suddenly the world was different, and then they were within walking distance of the mansion, and standing there was Clockwork, stretching her arms and looking like she was about to work out. When she turned and looked over her shoulder at Sally and Crystal, she stopped and waved them over. Sally and Crystal walked right up to her. Hello, Miss Clockwork. I'm glad that you agreed to meet with me. I'm sorry if I bothered you at all, Crystal said, slightly nodding out of respect. Oh no, dear, it's fine. I'm quite surprised but happy when Sally told me that you wanted to meet and talk with me about training. She then came closer and stood in front of Crystal, looking her up and down. So, you wanna learn how to defend yourself against enemies and against creepypastas? Clockwork said, crossing her arms. Crystal nodded. Yes, please, Miss Clockwork. I really need to learn how to protect myself. I need to be strong for Zack and for my family. I need to learn to be a warrior in my own way. And if you don't want to help me do it, I understand. I'll just find somebody else who will teach me to fight. But please, Miss Clockwork, I'd really appreciate it if you would do it. Crystal said politely, and secretly really wanted Natalie's help. She didn't know why, but she felt safer with Clockwork training her to be strong as Zack than any of the others. She didn't know why. But Clockwork just looked at her for a moment and then smiled slowly and then nodded. Okay, if you really want to be trained to get stronger, then alright, I can train you and we can get you into shape first. I can train you, but... And and all, but we need to get you in shape first, and then we can bring in the others to help out with other training exercises later on. But for right now, we'll start with the basics. Clockwork said, walking back, uncrossing her arms. Crystal just stood there, stunned but happy. She didn't expect Clockwork to actually help her, but now that she was, there was hope, a very little bit of hope inside of Crystal. Okay. What are we going to do now? Are we going to start now, or? Crystal asked. Clockwork shook her head. No. We'll start a daily routine, starting tomorrow. She put her hands on her hips and turning her back to us, walking up the hill towards the mansion, calling over her shoulders. Make sure you show up nice and early. 5:30, not an hour later. Got it? Crystal called. Yes, ma'am. I'll be right there. I'll be there. Good. See you later. Clockwork called. Good. See you then. So Crystal and Sally popped back to the woods near Crystal's home and talked about how they were going to have to meet, and how Sally was going to have to do the poof thing to be able to meet Natalie, and was going to have to sneak around her family and even sneak around Zach for a time. But all in all, they were both excited to be planning together and sneaking around, getting to spend more time together. At least Sally was. She couldn't stop bouncing around. It was all Crystal could do not to keep from giggling from relief and joy. But she managed to say goodbye to Sally and get inside and prepare herself for a long journey to make stronger and independent, to become more stronger and more independent. For Zach, for her family's sake, and for her very life. Maybe her future with Zach and her family wasn't as damned from the start as she may have thought. But may be a good girl. She may be a good girl, but that doesn't mean she can't be a strong, good girl, right? She just had to be. It was the only way to survive this ordeal. She had to be better, stronger, and have courage in herself, even when it seemed impossible. She just had to. Anyway, that's chapter 24. Hope you guys like it and everything else and all. Hope you guys are really liking it and everything else and all. If you guys really like the story and everything, feel free to check it out on Wattpad.com. Also, again, I just want to apologize. I'm sorry, I'm not a professional voice actor. I'm just doing the best I can. I hope you guys can see what I'm getting at with the voices and stuff. Not a professional voice actor. I'm just trying the best I can. This is my story, and I'm just trying to do the voices the best way I can. But I'm limited on what I can do. I'm just a girl trying her best, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just a girl trying her best. Anyway, if you guys really like the story, please pop over to Wattpad and be sure to type in Creepypasta FanFiction and look at A Crystal in the Ruff, Taz 1995. And if you guys really like it, please feel free to subscribe and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That way you guys are notified whenever the new chapters come out. And also, please feel free to like this video and let me guys know that you like this kind of stuff. Thanks. Anyway, and also I do some video gaming and all stuff as well, and I think some horror movies, some horror stuff and everything, as well as some Minecraft and everything else and all. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, feel free to check out my other videos and all. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.